Is this thing on? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Yes, it's me. Isn't it weird seeing my face back on YouTube? It's been 3 months, it's been a while, and I owe you guys a little bit of explanation why before we jump into this series. So why don't you skip to the timestamp in the description if you want to get to the actual video. So to those of you that actually care where I've been, thank you first of all for sticking around and waiting patiently. I know it's not easy and I kind of left you guys high and dry, but I had some real life things I need to take care of, and mainly that one being searching for a full-time job. May of last year was the point where I went and became a full-time YouTuber with the goal of growing my channel to the point where the money that I was bringing in was sufficient for me to live on for the foreseeable future, you know, ongoing kind of thing. And it didn't really get there. A few reasons why. I mean, my growth wasn't where I wanted it to be. Maybe the content that I was putting out wasn't good enough. Maybe hockey is too small a market to really grow quickly. Yeah, a whole bunch of things. Maybe my timeline that I gave myself, maybe just 1 year was too short. But anyways, I still love making content. This is not the end by any means. This is just the beginning of my content for NHL 20, in fact. So thank you guys for sticking around. I am looking for a full-time job, so I won't be a full-time content creator anymore, but I'll still be the same YouTuber that you guys have come to love and enjoy and subscribe to, and I really appreciate you guys for doing that. And if you want to stick around, if you're mad at me, maybe unsubscribe for a few weeks and then come back because we got some fire content in store. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hope you like what you see so far. If you do, hit the subscribe button and stay a while. And yeah, I hope you're excited, new and old fans, for this new series that is replacing All Trades Accepted. This one is called Chopped. Now, the inspiration for this series came from the TV show, the cooking show called Chopped, where it's basically a competition between chefs. The lowest performing chef in each round gets cut. The last chef standing wins a prize. So similar concept I've applied to NHL 20 franchise mode, believe it or not. And we're going to make use of the new Trade Finder feature this year to make that happen. So like All Trades Accepted, I'm going to become the GM of one team per season. We're going to sim through 1 year only and try to win the Stanley Cup. So the goal is the same, but how we do that and how our team changes is going to be different. In All Trades Accepted, we would wait for teams to propose trades to us, and then we had to accept it no matter what. Go watch that series if you haven't, by the way. It was a doozy, had some crazy trades, some crazy episodes. Now, where the chopping comes into play is through our simulation. Every month, once a month, we're going to look through and see how our team is doing, and the lowest performing players, whether it be forwards or defensemen or maybe even goaltenders, we're going to chop them from our team. They're cut. They're going to be traded away, and we're going to put them up on the chopping block and use the trade finder to find the best trade that we can get for those poor performing players. Obviously, that means we're going to have a lot more trades this time around than All Trades Accepted, and hope that's a good thing. Our team's going to change a lot, but it should be exciting. I mean, I've tested this concept already off camera, and it was wild, to say the least. I actually ended up winning the cup with the Leafs in the first year, and we just happened to sweep the defending champion St. Louis Blues. So in terms of the settings, and I'm going to show you this, so if you want to run your own little version of Chopped at home, turn owner mode off so we don't have to worry about finances or GM firing or promote, anything like that. We're just worried about our team winning the cup, and that's it. All right, salary cap, we could play with this, but to allow the craziest trades and to allow the most trades, we're going to turn the salary cap off. CPU trades on. Of course, we want them to make moves too. Morale, I don't really like, and I'm not a fan of how, you know, players more like morale can affect their overall. We just want their play to dictate how they progress. Fog of War, we're not going to worry about that because we're not scouting or anything. And the rest is gravy. So that's the settings. Now this one we got to change up too. And I'll just show this for this episode going forward. Obviously, I'm not going to run through the settings every time because they'll be the same. So these are the settings that I've run with. I've created a preset for it. So injuries off because we don't want injuries, you know, destroying a team. Period length 20 minutes. I feel like that has an impact on the simulation and the amount of scoring that gets done. CPU trades on, difficulty superstar, salary cap off, trade difficulty is going to be hard. You got to have a little challenge, and the rest don't really matter. So a couple things we're going to change here. Sim engine scoring. Now this is something that we need to play around with because this is a new little characteristic here that we can change. So low, medium, or high. Don't really know what it means. We can kind of play with it. Maybe we'll go with medium and see where the points lie and compare it to, you know, real life scoring, and then maybe we'll go up to high and see how that does. But right now we'll go with medium. Trade offer notifications on, of course. Blockbuster trade alerts, this is also new, so it'll give us a pop-up and we can kind of see how the league landscape is changing rather than just our team too. So that's a pretty cool feature. And that's about it. We're ready to go here with the Toronto Maple Leafs, guys. Let me know in the poll above how you think we're going to do this season. You think we're going to miss the playoffs? Do you think we're going to make the playoffs but choke? Or do you think we are going to win it all and take the cup home in our first episode of NHL 20? Let me know, guys, in the poll above. But without further ado, we're just about ready to get into this series, guys. If you're excited for the debut of Chopped NHL 20 edition, let me know with a like. And if you like me or like the content that I produce, consider subscribing, and you can see more of these if you like it. All right, so let's get into it. So this is your first time checking out NHL 20 franchise mode. This is how it looks. The layout is relatively the same, but obviously the appearance, the graphics are slightly different. It looks fresh, looks clean, so I'll give you that, EA. Now bear with me here, guys, because I'm trying to remember the flow of things and where everything is. So find trade, so that's the feature that we're going to use a lot this year. But to start, let's check out our lineup, see where the coach has placed everyone, and check out some new features in franchise mode as well. So start off, this already looks brand new. I remember last year there's a lot of just empty space on the right hand side. Now you have all this line chemistry, line fit information. So I'm assuming players will play better if they have more check marks, basically. So how does Mitch Marner fit into this line based on the strategies that the coach has set for our team? Mitch likes the shot blocking bias and the offensive strategy, and he's neutral with the rest. Tavares doesn't like the offensive strategy. Yeah, so it's interesting. I think there's more to it. It adds another level of complexity to franchise mode. We won't really pay too much attention to it. Historically, how we've done things is kind of just set best lines and let the coach handle it. If you guys are looking for somebody who does a deep dive and takes, the reins on a team and brings them from, pretender to contender, win a cup, does a full-fledged franchise mode, then feel free to check out my friends who do that sort of thing. X-Tech, Tuukka, Tactics, those guys are pros at franchise mode, and they'll hook you up with some of that type of content. At TDI, we keep it simple here. We keep it fun and entertaining, and the Leafs should provide that with this team. So you got Nylander, Tavares, Marner, Kapanen, Matthews, Hyman. So top two lines, excellent in my opinion. I mean, they're missing Marleau, but I mean, Kapanen is great. Hyman is a grinder. Nylander, hopefully he performs better than last year and earns that contract. And you got Marner, Tavares, Matthews, who are the three cornerstones of this team. You got Andreas Janssen, Alexander Kerfoot, new pickup with Jason Spezza on his wing. And then you got big Frederic Gauthier with Nick Shore and Nick Patan. So the two Nicks there, sandwiching a goat. Yeah, I mean, the depth is pretty good. Fourth line could use a little bit of work, but our top nine is pretty good. Let's look on defense. You got Morgan Riley, Tyson Barrie. That combo it's going to be one of the top in the league for sure. These two guys are so dynamic. I can't wait to watch them play in real life. And I mean, Morgan Riley was one of the best players. I'm really bummed he didn't get a Norris Trophy nomination still. But yeah, him and Tyson Barrie should be fun to watch in real life and should be fun to watch them play together in game. Jake Muzzin, Travis Dermott, and Ben Harper and Cody Ceci. So our depth is a little bit shaky here. Ben Harper, I don't think he is a top 6 defenseman in the NHL at all, but we'll see how he copes. Maybe if he plays bad, we can just ship him up. Chop! You're gone, Ben. That is our decor, and then we'll look at the goalies here. Freddie Anderson and Garrett Sparks. So Garrett's a little low. I was hoping we could maybe upgrade that, but Freddie should be able to hold down the fort while we maybe try and figure out our backup goaltending situation. Now this time around in Chopped, the trading block won't be as important, but it's still nice, you know, to have and put players up on the block so we can at least get some trade offers. Now we don't necessarily need to put the highest value players on the block. Instead, we can kind of be more particular in who we put on the block. So, I mean, I think I'm going to still use the same concept with the surplus and the want. So surplus, anything and everything is on the table for teams to offer to see what they want. But what we want back is a little more particular. We want any forward, any defenseman, or I set this as a backup goaltender because, you know, Garrett Sparks 75 overall is not the best, and we don't want any picks because it's just a one-year sim, so we don't really care about any draft picks. We just want players that'll help our team win the cup this season. In terms of the assets that we're offering here, I mean, I don't think we really want to put up any big name guys, but guys with a lot of trade value that we might not necessarily use this year, like Liljegren could be a good one. He's got a lot of trade value and he's 75 overall, so he could grow to maybe a bottom six pairing guy, but that's a long shot. So he's a perfect candidate to go. Another one, let's see if we can find, I mean, these two guys, Dur Aguch, I don't even want to try, and Jeremy Bracco. Again, these prospects, I mean, him for sure we're not going to use. Bracco, I mean, either of these guys, I mean, I think we'll pick one who might be worth more. Let's go with this guy. He's a centerman. I mean, I think the other guy was too, but he looks like he had a little bit more trade value. We also have some draft picks too. Maybe we'll put up our first round 2021. That seems to have the most value. 2025 pick. I don't think any teams will trade for that. So this is what we're running with on our trade block. For this episode, we might do some changes. If, you know, we get a backup goalie, then I'll change it to maybe a pending UFA or something, but we'll leave this for now. Now, before we get into it and kind of show you how the find trade feature works, so we hop in here and it brings up the list of you know, our roster with trade value very similar to, you know, when you put somebody on the block. Now let's just say, you know, let's pick somebody. For example, you can pick multiple assets and see if teams are willing to trade for that, but for this episode we'll just go one asset per trade. Yeah, so say we want to trade away Willie Nylander. Say he's not holding up to his contract, so we select him and then we click find trade, and there's nobody here, so nobody wants to trade for Willie Nylander. Can we get some bites? Okay, here we go. So we got Jake Muzzin. We've offered him to the market. We sent an email to everyone saying we are open to trade Jake Muzzin, and we got 5 replies, so we can kind of scroll through and see what the best offer is. So Boston, top 4D, looks like a prospect and a first round pick this year. 2 first round picks. That's actually tasty if this was a multi-year GM mode. Boston doesn't really care about a ton of their prospects. They have a lot of prospects to play with, it seems. So, I mean, I wouldn't really want to trade Jake Muzzin to a rival like Boston, but yeah, that's basically how this works. And in this series, if we get one offer, we have to take it. If we get 10, then we have some options, and I can choose which trade I want to take, which one I think will be the best for our team this year. So hopefully there are multiple trades that are offered here, but in this case we will decline. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into it here. We're going to sim to the regular season, skip through all the scouting, all these notifications. Actually, even before we started... Oh my god, okay, I was rattled. Thank god this isn't all trades accepted, because that is a brutal trade. Kasperi Kapanen for Jordan Greenway. And Jason, oh my god, thank god this isn't all trades accepted. Now that being said, if there is a trade that's proposed to us that is tasty, I can by all means accept it. That's not against the rules. We're going to go month by month here, right to the end of October. We're going to simulate, we're going to look through our player stats, and we're going to get chopping. Alright, so 1 month down, and we've got a 9-5 record, which is, you know, nothing to complain about. It's early. I mean, the first month doesn't really dictate anything, and I mean, we're at the top of our division. It is very close. Us, the Lightning, and the Sabres, surprisingly, are up there at the top. The rest is kind of mediocre. Doesn't look like we'll be losing Mitch Marner anytime soon. He's already above point per game with 19 and 14. Let's go through our team and see who the first ever players that'll be chopped in this series. So we can sort by this, and right away, I mean, it's no real surprise. 4th line, doesn't really perform too well. So Freddie Gauthier with 2 assists in 14 games is going to be chopped from the team in terms of forwards. Right now I'm kind of just gonna go based on points or points per game, but maybe it might be fun to just chop the guy with the worst plus minus or the most penalties, the least amount of hits. Like, maybe there's something to that. You could kind of add extra twists on the series. So if you have any suggestions you want to see me chop based on hits or block shots or anything like that, could have some crazy trades, let me know in the comments below. All right, so Gauthier is going, and now let's go through our defenseman here. And who are you? Kevin Gravel, whatever. Oh my God, we almost had to cut Jake Muzzin if this guy wasn't playing so terribly. He had 1 assist. I mean, I didn't even see him on our starting lineup. Where was Ben Harper? Where was that guy? Hold on, I think I need to see this guy. 77 overall. Okay, so he's at least better than Harper, but he's still gone. Gravel and Gauthier, you guys are chopped. All right, so here we go. Let's find some trades here. Not sure anybody will bite. Let's see if we can find a trade. Oh, we got 3. Okay. All right, so the Red Wings want to offer us a 5th round pick. Ideally, we want a player back, but this is where things could get a little sketch if we start getting only draft picks. The Sens are willing to give up Borowiecki. He's a 7th D, so I mean, he could crack our lineup and replace the defenseman who we are going to lose, or a 5th round pick. Might as well get a player that we can use potentially instead of nothing at all with these picks. So we're going to trade away Gauthier to Ottawa for Mark Borowiecki. All right, so we've dropped our lowest performing forward. Now to do the same thing with our lowest performing defenseman, that is Gravel. Let's see if we can find a trade for this guy. No, okay. So this is another little thing I forgot to mention. If we can't find a trade in that month, he survives. He lives to play for another month at least and get his performance back up, so he's not chopped from this team. So Gravel, you survived this chopping round. He stays on the team. Now let's go through to the end of November and see who's next. Oh baby, all right. We got a trade proposed from Ottawa again. This time they want Nick Shore in exchange for Tyler Ennis. I don't know, honestly. This one's a tough one to consider. I mean, I like Tyler Ennis. They're pretty much the same player. I think I'm gonna have to pass on this one. All right, November's over. It's time to do some more chopping. We're still hanging on to that top spot. Looks like the Sens have actually almost caught up, and now it's a very close race. From 1st to 7th, it's only 5 points, so we could be in trouble here if we go on any type of losing streak in our division. Tavares took over the lead in points. All right, so forwards. Who is the worst performing? Agostino has 0 points in 14 games. Nick Shore has 4 points, and so maybe we should have traded him away, actually. I think I'm going to use my discretion here. Agostino is technically the worst performing. He doesn't have a point, but he's played half the games that Shore does. So I think I'm going to let Agostino hang in there for another 14 games, at least for another month. So we're going to put Shore on the chopping block and see if anybody wants to bite at him. And Gravel again, man, like, what are you doing? 1 point in 28 games. 1 point. This guy's got to go. Nick Shore is the forward who's going to get cut. Let's see if anybody wants to bite. Yeah, we got 4 trades. 2 picks from Detroit. Tyler Ennis again. All right, we got a second shot at Ennis. We might actually take it this time. 2 picks from Ottawa, or Tim Heed from San Jose. So we either have a defenseman to replace the defenseman that we're going to lose in Gravel, or we get a forward to replace Nick Shore. I think Heed has more upside probably. Yeah, I mean, maybe if we take Heed, then Gravel won't even play anymore. So that could be a silver lining too. I think I want to go Heed. I think I'm leaning Heed. Let's do it. Let's go and try and trade away this guy for the 2nd month in a row. He's still surviving, man. All right, December, let's go another month here. We got a trade offer from Buffalo. They want Kapanen. They're offering Marcos Scandella and Evan Rodriguez. So you know what? I think we're going to decline this one. I don't see any need to really trade away Kapanen right now. Let's end the year on a win. Oh my God. Okay, we're ending the year on a 3-game losing streak. We're almost back down to 500, and we're definitely not at the top of our division. The Sabres are actually doing very well. So our forwards, Agostino now. All right, so yeah, Agostino has to go. He only got 5 points in his next 13 games, whereas Baptiste already has 5 points and 4 goals in his first 13 games with us. In terms of defensemen, doesn't look like Gravel's played a game since we got Who was it? Tim Heed? I don't think he's eligible now. He's not really on the team. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all guys that have played 41 games. So we'll look in these 6, and it's Cody Ceci who's played the worst. So Cody Ceci and Kenny Agostino are the ones that are going to be chopped this month. Let's go chop them. Does anybody want him? Somebody does want him. Okay. Detroit wants him for Kuffner, a bottom 6'4" with low potential. Or St. Louis Blues give us a pick. All right, so I mean, we'll take a flyer on Kuffner. All right, Cuff, see ya, Agostino. And then we got to trade away Cody Ceci, who is new from Ottawa this year, carrying a $4.5 million salary cap. Does anybody want him? Somebody wants him. All right, Colorado, 2 picks. Ottawa, 2 picks as well. Ooh, San Jose is willing to give up Marcus Sorensen for CC. Or Oscar Lindberg. Pick from Vancouver. Cody Eakin and Curtis McKenzie for Cody CC. Or Brandon Peary and Curtis McKenzie. All right, so we have some options now. Peary, I don't think will do it. I think this one's a no-brainer here. We got to go with Cody Eakin for Cody CC. Bye-bye, Cody CC. Welcome, Cody Eakin. Let's go. All right, so after that month of chopping, we got Willie Nylander up at 85 overall with Tavares and Marner. Kapanen still here. Our 4th line has changed. Curtis McKenzie and Cody Eakin now. He's 79. He's not as good as I thought he was, but we've kind of recouped our loss on Gauthier there and Nick Shore. So I'm not too mad about it. I'm still happy with where our team's at. We got Gravel back in the lineup, though. All right, let's go to the end of January now. We only got about a month and a half left until the trade deadline. So this kind of a make or break. We got to start winning games, though. Whoa. Okay. All right. This is where things get interesting. Toronto Maple Leafs are giving up a 1st and a 2nd round pick. We could get Sammy Vatanen and Wayne Simmons from New Jersey. It looks like they're trying to rebuild. Sammy Vatanen and Wayne Simmons for virtually free. Thank you very much. We will take it. Oh, we got more. More free players. Let's go. Kyle Palmieri and Andy Green in exchange for more picks and Dmitry Timashov, who's a prospect who hasn't played in our team all year. Jack Hughes, PK Subban, and Taylor Hall. They're the only ones left on that team after this episode. Bang! Gimme them. Oh man, here we go. Okay. Honestly, Seidenberg wouldn't make our team, and Strome would be a depth player at that. I would rather have Janssen any day, so we're going to happily decline that trade. So looking back to when we fleeced the New Jersey Devils, we haven't lost a single game. We've won 2, 4, 6, 8 straight games, and this season has taken a turn for the better. Let's go! Worst performing forward who's played some games is Cody Eakin. Okay, so we traded for him. We got rid of Cody Ceci for him, and he's kind of been mediocre at best. And in terms of players who have played, here's our top 6. Riley, Barry, Muzzin, Vatanen, Heed, Travis Dermott. I was saying that plus-minus is tasty, but 8 points in 50 games is not good enough, so the young kid's going to get dropped. All right, so for Cody Eakin, are there any takers? There are 7 offers. All right, you love to see those high numbers. Rangers offering just Dennis Seidenberg. Don't really want to take that. Sens are offering Tyler Ennis and Chris Thorburn. All right, a couple options there. We can get Ron Hainsey back. Mike Condon, a fringe starter. Yeah. We get Sorensen. Okay, so basically a straight up exchange, forward for forward. I know he's not a center. Or Oscar Lindberg, who is a center, but I don't know if he's as good. All right, so we got some thinking to do here. I kind of am liking this Sorensen deal. I like him in real life. Think Sorensen might be the way to go, and that's what we're gonna do. So let's see if anybody wants Dermott. Yes, they do. We got 7 options here. All right, Ryan Strome. They don't like him there in New York, do they? Nothing exciting yet. Duclair and Craig. Whoa. They're giving away Craig Anderson. Hello. I know he's old, but he's a starting goalie. Mikko Bodker. Ooh, okay. Craig Anderson and John Gabriel Pajot. All right. This is getting interesting. Lindbergh again. No, we don't want Lindbergh and pick. Top 6, top 9. Okay, you know what? On paper, I guess Bodker is the best player, and that's kind of what we want, right? And then we're going to have to go with Mikkel Bodker. Hopefully he can add some scoring to our team. Let's go. Baptiste, who actually hasn't been playing too bad for us. And he's got 2 years left. So, I mean, maybe somebody else would want him. I don't know. I mean, sure. I mean, we don't need Hutchinson. Don't really need Baptiste. And I think Belmar's an upgrade, so we'll take it. And holy crap. Do teams ever want Kapanen? We will decline this one. I mean, maybe it's an upgrade, so we get an extra player. more trade assets, so we'll take it, sure. And this is big. Kyle Palmieri and and that center prospect we had on the block the whole season, somebody finally bit, and it's San Jose, who was willing to give up Marc-Edouard Vlasic. You know what? Go big or go home. Let's go, Marc-Edouard Vlasic. The Leafs have been waiting for a stay-at-home defenseman like him, and finally they got it. Who's the worst forward? Sorensen or Fast? I don't know if Sorensen's actually played. And then defenseman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's gonna be Tim Heed, all right? So Tim Heed's gone. Fast is currently on the team, all right? So he's gonna get cut. Sorensen's gonna go back in. Let's see if anybody wants you. Looks like somebody does. We get Smith, Pelly, and Ullmark. Adam McQuaid and Chris Kunitz, so some older guys. Yeah, I think we're going with this one. Just Fast for Smith, Pelly, pretty much straight up. Let's go. So, yeah, our defenseman we're going to get rid of is Tim Heed. Let's see if anybody wants him. We got 9 offers for Connaughton, a 7th D. Nyberg, who I think is a prospect. Lee Stepniak. Ryan Spooner. This is not ideal. This one's actually going to hurt. All right, let's go. Go big or go home. We're going to face Philadelphia Flyers in the first round. So we finished the season at the top of our division with 104 points. So definitely a good season. One to be happy about for sure. At least we know the Bruins won't be beating the Leafs again in the playoffs. That's for sure. Eastern Conference overall, we won the conference as well, beating out Washington and Pittsburgh. And in the West, Arizona with Phil Kessel. Let's see how many goals he scored. He probably scored a lot. Wins the Western Conference. We actually won the President's Trophy, so we had the best team. St. Louis, defending champs, are back. Dallas, Vancouver, hello? Across the entire league, in terms of goaltending anyways, Markstrom, Holtby had the most wins up there. Save percentage, Ranta had crazy numbers, Price, Markstrom, so yeah, I thought Andersons were good. These guys had stellar years. In terms of defenseman points, PK Subban had the best season with Falk not far behind. So looks like he does well on the Devils. And then our forwards, McDavid, 103 points. No surprise there. Radulov and Sagan on Dallas had a great year. Tavares is right up there, so that's good. But this is what it's all about. The playoffs right here. Dallas and Chicago, St. Louis, Nashville. Ooh, that Canadian rivalry, Canucks and Flames. That'll be a great series. And the Coyotes and Sharks, which is meh. On the East, we got the Penguins and the Canes, Caps and Habs. Panthers and Sabres and Leafs and Flyers. Really no rivalries there, so that's an interesting matchup too. See how this goes here. Let's simulate through the playoffs. Let's see if they can take us deep in the playoffs. Let's go. First 3 games. Start off with the loss. Not good. Get it back with the win. Okay. Then lose again in OT. All right, so we're down 2-1 the series. Let's do one more here, boys. Tie it up. Okay, we're down 3-1 now. This is not good. Come on, boys. It's now or never. Don't get bounced first round. Okay, come on. Game 6. Please do your thing. Force game 7. Leafs, why again do you bounced in the first round? Oh my god. After a season like that, after a team like that, so many ups and downs. Maybe it's just the lack of team chemistry. Dallas Stars are Stanley Cup champs, and with those new players, Pavelski, with Perry, they got rid of Spezza, but definitely upgrades all around. Zuccarello. So congrats to the Dallas Stars on their second franchise Stanley Cup. We won the Presidents, okay? So at least that's something. At least we won a little piece of hardware. And, wow, the Hurricanes made it. David gets the Art Ross. Hart goes to Aho, okay. All right, I mean, he did have a good year. He was right up there in the top 10 in points after signing that contract. Norris goes to Falk, so they basically had the 2 best players in each position. Lady Bing, oh my god, Aho. What a signing, what a signing. Calder goes to Colin White, he had the most points. Conn Smythe to Sagan, Vezina to Ranta. Masterton goes to Brendan Dillon. Jack Adams, finally this year we get a Jack Adams award and we can put a face on it. So yeah, I mean, it's just a generated face. Like, look at that. Looks like a sim. Ryan O'Reilly gets to Selke for the 2nd straight year. Okay, cool. And Ted Lindsay goes to Aho, and Maurice Richard goes to Sagan, who is the only 50-goal getter. All right? All right, guys. Well, that's it for this episode, the inaugural one of my new Chopped NHL 20 franchise mode series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you liked the concept. If you have any ideas or feedback, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. I know this episode probably went a little longer, and that's probably due to the fact that we made so many changes, made so many trades. So if that's a good thing, then let me know. If you think there should be fewer trades, I might experiment with that in the next episode. But that is it for me for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Drop a like if you did, subscribe if you're new to the channel and like what you saw and want to see more, because I'll be uploading one hopefully for each NHL team plus alumni teams and any other ideas I can think of. So stay tuned for that if you like what you saw today. So excited to be back uploading again on YouTube, and I'm so excited NHL 20's here. Hopefully you guys are grinding it out as we speak. And until next video, guys, I'll see you then.